Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to assemble a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote into the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, well, you can use other people's emotes. If you feel like just being a lurker, you can just lurk. If you want to say hi, say hi. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you here. Hold on one second. What's this button do? Oh, yeah, this is sub drops and stuff. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. There's some drops here for gifting subs. That leads me into saying, hey, I'm currently at 25 subscribers. The goal is to get to 30. At 30 subscribers, I shut up about the number of subscribers I have. If you would like to become a subscriber, now will be a great time to do it. If you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do it anonymously. You could take credit for it. I'm trying to get 5 more subs to get to that 3-0, so I shut up about it. Just letting you know that's what we're up to. Tonight's agenda, we are starting the Galluss-J. The Galluss-J is from Double Zeta, but it's a kit that didn't come out until 2025. This is a new mold of this somewhat classic grunt. Maybe not really classic. You know, there are people that love Zeta, Double Zeta. There are people that don't like Double Zeta. There are people that only like Double Zeta towards the end of the series when it becomes more serious, like Zeta. There are some people that are like, it's the silliest Gundam series, and they're positive about that. But this design is cool. It is a sleek green on green model kit with some red accents. There are only some stickers, not too many stickers. Got the sticker sheet here. But like I said, it came out last year and I've been meaning to build it. So thank you, Chris, for buying this off my Amazon wish list because it means I get to build it, which is cool. Let's go to the overhead camera. Here's the overhead camera. I clipped out one piece just to get my fingers going because I'm just, my body is tense from this chair. Holy shit. Now, if you weren't here on Thursday, you didn't watch the Thursday stream, you didn't hear this. As we begin to work on this model kit, I will then talk about this. So I've been dealing with an issue with this chair. This is a Lazy Boy office chair. It is nice. It is faux leather, and it has been serving me well. I've had it for a while. It was a Christmas gift, and I was very grateful for it because the chairs I had been sitting previously were not good. For a long time, I didn't have a good chair in this room because I didn't know how long I'd be here, right? And so it was like, well, just use this chair. And then eventually I was like, I'm getting a cushion for this chair, but I'm going to keep using the chair. And eventually it was like, I got a better cushion for this chair. And then eventually I got an actual good chair because I'm sitting at this desk, this table all day doing work. So I was like, let me just get something that actually would be good for me to sit on. Let's see. So that's going to go, that goes up top here. Like, yeah, like that. And that goes like that. Hell yeah. We're doing it. We're starting with the body here, not the head. We start with the body. Pretty traditional. No poly caps on this one because it was designed in 2025. So it is like the Gundam Seed Forever, or Gundam Sim Freedom, I should say, Witcher Mercury, the G-Quux kits. We're done with poly caps, unless it's like extra weird armor that goes on. Sometimes that'll happen. Or if it is just a, modern edition of a kit and not redesigned kit. But kits going forward, you're not going to see polycaps anymore. They figured that shit out, which is awesome. So we won't see that in this. Going back to what I was saying. So this chair has served me well, but I started noticing slowly over time, a thing was happening where sometimes I would have to use the hydraulic cylinder on this and push up the chair. It wasn't staying where it should. And then I noticed when I was cleaning it, the cylinder had slipped down and was actually kind of sitting low. So I had opened it up all the way and it was still low. Because when I first got it, I didn't need it opened all the way or extended. So over time, because The way, I'm not saying all chairs work like this, but most chairs that use a hydraulic cylinder, most of them are all friction connected. They are the adapter the metal adapter that attaches to the top of it that goes to the base of your chair. That's friction. And then where it sits on the wheels, the platform for the wheels, that's also friction. And you just kind of like, it all feeds together and then it just kind of marries against each other and it's fine. Now, that's all well and good. Sorry, I have to see. Okay, so this goes in like this. But eventually that cylinder will go. Now, my first thought was, okay, is there a way to replace a cylinder? Or, well, sorry. The first thing was, is there a way to raise this cylinder within the base? And I tried doing that, tried to just like get more life out of this thing. There are some things you can do that people have found of like turning the chair on its upside down and leaving it overnight and extending it all the way can kind of move some of the lubricant that's inside the cylinder and move that around, and that can bring some life to it. That doesn't help with the sinking problem, but it can kind of give you a little bit more leeway there. Let me just read this. It says make sure the parts are facing the right way and in the right position. Okay, sure. I was gonna do that, no problem. All right, we'll put that like that. We'll put that like that. That's all looking good, I think. We're going to build the like shoulders kind of thing, or the chest pieces that are also the shoulder pieces. So we'll build that. So I looked into doing that. That didn't help me out. Then I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just buy a new chair because I like this chair. One, it's comfortable. It's wide, which is nice because sometimes office chairs, for me anyway, for my weight and height, often are a little narrow, and I don't want that. But this one, fits well. It's comfortable, and if I can spend some money to fix it instead of spending a lot of money to replace it, that would be good. So I look into it, and I'm like, okay, I like decide. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of what the people are saying here. YouTube videos, YouTube shorts and long form videos that have been around for a while of this is what people do. You get yourself a wrench and you have to separate the cylinder from the top of the chair, and then you can knock the cylinder out of the base for the wheels, and then you can replace it with a new cylinder. And cylinders, there are cylinders out there that are longer than your traditional ones that will fit in there, but will give you a little bit more because then you can use the cylinder for more. You can get more height out of the chair, whatever. But also there are cylinders out there that are meant for more weight than the traditional cylinders. And that would be good for someone like myself. So that was my day today. That was a big part of my day today was once I got the new cylinder on, it was fucking pretty goddamn easy to do. Okay, so I have to see how this goes in. This goes in like this, I think, like this. Yeah. Is that how that goes? Yeah, it goes in like that. Okay. That makes sense because that's where the arm is eventually going to go. So I was like, okay, once I got the cylinder off, getting the new cylinder on, no problem. I am going to adjust my chair tomorrow. I'm going to like kind of undo a little bit of what I've done here and reset everything because it's not perfect, but I figured it out eventually. Okay, so I have to make sure this has to go on right. So I have to like figure out this is the side that is down and then this goes into here. Okay, so I did that properly. Great. And then I get A4 to close her up. The real problem, friends, was getting this old cylinder off because I have been sitting in this chair daily for quite some time, and the pressure fitting fit well. I used a wrench, a pipe wrench, was not budging. You're supposed to just like get on there and like kind of crank it and crack it a little bit and break the seal. No. Lubricant sitting for a while did not help. They were like, sometimes you could jam it loose with a hammer. Tried that. Did not work. Maybe it'll be easier if you can get the wheels off by like hitting with a hammer on there. Did not work. It just did not want to work for me for quite some time. It was very frustrating. Eventually, jamming so I jammed my chair underneath my bed, like the top of the chair, like this part of the chair here or here, for leverage, and used both arms to crank that pipe wrench, like leaving scrapes. I got gloves because I was like, if I touch this, I'm going to get I'm going to cut myself on this sharp metal that I have created. And eventually, that was enough to pry it off. And then the cylinder slipped out of the wheels. Nice and easy, thank God. That was not difficult part. New cylinder went in fine. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to reset things. Come to find out, in my frustration of trying to get this done and failing, I did consider spending even more money. Now, I could have sent back the replacement I got here because there is a kit that exists out there. I don't know if it works because I didn't buy the kit because I didn't need it. But there is a kit out there that they have this new way of doing it that apparently people swear by, with these like metal rings, and basically you have these rings that attach to each other on the chamber, and then the hydraulic cylinder, and then you crank with like alternating, and basically you separate them and it pries it out of where it's stuck. And apparently that works wonders. And the kit also comes with a new cylinder, which I don't need. So I did consider, should I buy this and overnight it and then also just send back this one and get a refund for it? And I was like, no, what? And then I got it off. So I didn't have to do that. Again, tomorrow I am going to readjust this chair. But if $28 was enough to get more life out of this chair, which again, the only thing that was issue was that the cylinder was failing, then I think that's fine. If it doesn't hold for that long, I will consider getting that kit. Because I'll tell you right now, it would be easier to get this cylinder, the new cylinder, out of there. It would be much easier to get it out of there, but over time, it won't be easy. But I'm never doing that pipe method again. If I ever have to take a cylinder out of a chair, I'm buying that goddamn kit. I have it written down somewhere what that thing does, but there's a YouTube video, and then I had to go into my YouTube history and delete all the videos I watched, because that is now the thing that YouTube thinks I'm obsessed with, which is fair. But I'm not obsessed with it, but they think I am. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's the office chair cylinder replacement with removal tool. And it's just little doodads that apparently will do the thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I don't know. So that was a lot of my Saturday, friends, was just trying to make this work. Which was, again, not what I wanted to be doing with my Saturday. I had plans to play some video games, which I did. I did play some video games, but I wanted to play more video games, and I couldn't because I had to do that. And it's fine if it means my chair is okay. And if it means I don't have to constantly be trying to force my chair to be as tall as it can be, and also feeling like that's not good enough. Like right now, feeling pretty good about the height of this chair. So, hell yeah. It was worth it. It was a pain in my fucking ass, but it was worth it. Also, I'm sore. I'm just sore. And then I still had outdoor chores to do. So I still ended up having to do stuff outside that was not fun. We have a palm tree in our front yard, and there are, we call them growths or baseball bats. There are these like big growths in the tree, and then they open up, and they're not going to be more leaves of the tree. They're going to be these like berries that fall and rot, and it's a pain in the fucking ass. So you got to cut them off before they bloom. And of course, most of them are in the dead center of the tree. So you got to get around all the branches and get above the tree, and it's a fucking nightmare. But I did that. Hey, Lord Crashington. So that was not fun. But I'll say of the two, that was shorter at least, getting in, putting a ladder up against a tree, climbing up on into that tree and cutting some stuff down was at least shorter than replacing the cylinder, which was supposed to be easy and was not. I'll tell you this, friends, if you're ever thinking about replacing a cylinder on your chair, your office chair, I would suggest that you think long and hard. Do you just want to buy a new chair? Right? Like, if you just want to buy a new chair, if you're like, well, I'll get another year out of it. No, maybe I want this chair. Like, if you don't really want to keep that chair, you should just fucking get rid of that goddamn chair. I put this on wrong. I'm going to flip this the other way. I put this neck piece on wrong, but I have fixed it. I've done it correctly this time. So yeah. When does this go? This goes like this. There it goes. Cool. This is very intricate. I'm very excited to work on it. Like I said, this is a kit from Double Zeta, but it is a new design because it came out last year, and it looks fucking great. Very excited to be working on it. And I hope you're doing well out there. But yeah, so that was my day. Was between those two things. And like I said, I did get some gaming in. I did have a little fun out there. I can have a little fun doing some gaming stuff on occasion. Allow myself that. Yesterday, I watched some wrestling, and I made a new video for the next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, which will go live to everybody on Monday. Also, yesterday I made an announcement to my Patreon, and I want to talk a little about this announcement. This is not a big thing, right? I am going to, in September, make a small change to my Patreon. And when I say small change, I mean literally small change. I'm going to end something that I used to do, that I will do for the month of August, at the end of this month, and then I will, in the future, do something else. And that is my Q&A video. If you're not on my Patreon, hey, get on there. It's cool. What I've been doing since, I think, the beginning, I want to say this might not have been from day one. This might have been when I started doing tiers. But from the very beginning, let's say, I did a monthly Q&A where I would answer questions. I would ask for questions. I would solicit them from the community, and then I would answer them. And over the years, it's gone from like 3 or 4 questions where I would answer some off stream or offline because I had already answered it lately. Somebody was coming in and I would answer that, or a question I had answered, like I didn't feel like talking about publicly, but I wanted to say it. And it was exclusive. It was just for my Patreon. I did 1 month. I released it for people just as like a tease. Like, I think I did it once. I was like, oh, I'm going to actually make this one public. And I'll say something about it being public. But otherwise, it was always just for the patrons. It was the only exclusive content that I make, and it has been. But over time, as my Patreon, let's say, stabilized and became a core group of people with very little new people joining, folks ran out of questions to ask or interest in it, or... for some people, my Patreon is just maintenance it's just like, yeah, it's a couple bucks a month and I don't look at it, but I'm supporting Pat, you know, that kind of thing. For some people, it's that, which is okay. It's not the end of the world, but you know, I would love for them to be more engaged, but if they're not, that's also okay. And so it got to the point where occasionally I would just like have to ask a couple times, and I was getting like several months in a row where I would get one question if I was lucky. And I wanted to make a change, so I'm making a change. I am retiring the Q&A. I will do one for this month, but starting at the end of September, I will have a new one, and I'm going to do a new video, a new Patreon, like a tracked video, kind of explain this, and I'll change it in the Patreon stuff. I'm still going to do an exclusive video that is for my $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. I'm still going to do that. There'll still be something that'll be exclusive, but it'll be different. And I felt like I could tell you about it. One is maybe a way to advertise the fact that I'm doing something new, and two, because I'm looking for a little bit of feedback about it, maybe. I'm going to do the, I forgot to do two of these things here, so I got to do this. A20 and C218. Okay. C2, 18. So the first thing is that the new video series that, again, will be exclusive to my Patreon, will go out to every patron at every tier, is going to be called the Backlog Vlog. And the Backlog Vlog is maybe self-explanatory. It will be a monthly look at everything in my backlog. It might be stuff that only $10 patrons know that I have, because sometimes I do the Patreon poll about like what I should build next for my $10 patrons. And so some people only know about the things that I have in my backlog when when I reveal that that's the thing I'm working on next. So I don't like, you know, you didn't know that stuff. So you don't know about some of the kits that I have if you're not at the $10 tier. Also, it will be, I think it'll be fun for one, teasing future builds. I think that's neat and that's gonna be fun. And two, I think it'll be fun to like look at how many months have I been talking about this kit. Like I'll be like, and I still have this kit, which of course now I think I've shown a couple, you know, like I'll forget eventually, but it'll be maybe fun for people to see like, oh, sometimes a kit stays in my backlog for like a fucking year. And then eventually I started doing that thing a couple years ago where I was just like, hey, these three kits have been in my backlog, or these two kits have been in my backlog too long. So pick one of these two because I really want to build this kit. Because some stuff just doesn't appeal to my $10 patrons as something, or like I'll add something new that everyone gets jazzed about. And they're like, oh, I really want to see what that is. Which makes sense, you know? So like, I totally get it. Why some things immediately get picked and other things don't ever. Like I know it's, sorry, this is not fitting right. So I got to see what's wrong with this. No, I guess that is right. Is this right? Yeah, okay. Why is that like that? Hold on. Okay, yeah, so that goes in like that, and that goes in like that, with that on there. And then, oh, there's a piece that goes underneath, and maybe that'll look right. Because this doesn't look right here. Okay, now it looks better. I think when I put the top piece on here, it'll look better. Right now, it looks like it's missing something, which it sort of is. But yeah, so people will be able to see like how long certain things stick in my backlog, like the Gelgoog from G-Quack. So we already built like a Gelgoog from G-Quack. So like maybe it'll take a while before people want to see the other Gelgoog get built, which is like, yeah, fair, totally fair. All right, so does this go like this then? Yeah. Like that. Okay. And then also I am going to do, which So sometimes folks know about things that I've pre-ordered, right? Like I mentioned on a Discord, I pre-ordered a kit not too long ago. I will also do that. Monthly, I will talk about in terms of when they arrive, stuff that is in my backlog. I'll like make a little presentation of like here are the here's a photo of or an image of all of the photos, I should say, of the stuff that's in my back that's coming, that is been pre-ordered, that's coming from various locations, and talk about those things in like release order. Like, oh, this thing is shipping. I think I actually have a premium Bandai. I should have this. I don't have a spreadsheet. I don't have a spreadsheet right now. And I should of when all of the kits are expected to arrive or expected to ship. And I should have that. I should have a spreadsheet of that, and I don't. So that would be good to do for the backlog vlog. So that's the new thing that I'll be working on. And this allows people, like, I don't have to ask people, like, for questions. I don't have to bother people. I don't have to ask, like, a second time because no one sent a question in on a month, because I had months where no one sent a question in. And so I had at least one. And so I had to, like, ask again and hope that someone was going to send something. And I think it'll be fun for people to know, like, what kits I've got. You got the $1 tier, like they'll be able to see, like, oh, this is the stuff that Pat has in the future, and it can build some anticipation, perhaps. So yeah, that's the new thing. Again, I'm going to do one last Q&A here in August, soliciting questions for the Patreon, and then after that, it will be just me doing that for the end of September, and I will shoot a video before that'll go out like September 2nd or whatever, explaining that and make the changes in the description and all that. I think that'll work out okay. All right, so we are done here with the chest. We are going to panel line this. I think a black marker will look really nice on the light green here. I think the dark green, it won't show at all, but I'll still do it. Maybe it'll show up in photography, but I don't think live it'll look great. Yeah. It feels a little dark. My overhead feels a little dark today. I don't know. I don't know why. I'll have to readjust some stuff. I'll have to readjust the white balance, try to make that brighter. That'll help. Yeah, it doesn't show up on the dark, but on the light, oh yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah, that looks great, actually. Yep, that's going to look nice on the light green here. So yeah, that is a change coming to my Patreon. But I have been thinking about doing this for a while, because I was like, I probably should end the Q&A thing, because I just don't think it's hitting as hard as I would like. But I wasn't sure what to replace it with. I didn't know what I was going to do after that. And so I am now excited about having this opportunity to do this, because I think this will be cool. I think people will like it. All right. Okay, there's here. Let's see. New stuff. Okay. So, we talked previously about the fucking Saber Interactive's game, the rideshare simulator, and how it was like there were accusations that there was AI being used, and then not only AI being used for development, which of course Saber Interactive has talked about using AI in their pipeline, but also in the writing, that ChatGPT, that basically a writer by the name of Stella had been hired by them and then was fired midway through the writing because basically they were replacing her with ChatGPT. And she basically said, like, yeah, they used AI for this and they didn't disclose anything. I talked a little bit about Matt Karch, who is a piece of shit. Lastbrook says, sorry, my brain is just never good at coming up with questions to ask your Q&A type stuff. Lastbrook, I should make this clear. I am not mad that people stopped asking questions. Like I said, part of it is the fact that I haven't built my Patreon over the years, right? New people would theoretically be asking questions, and it would not come down to people that have consistently supported me to also have to ask me questions all the time, right? So it, like, in the beginning, it made a lot of sense. I should have pivoted away from the Q&A years ago, and I didn't, but I should have. Because it was, it was difficult. That's on me, not on you. No need to apologize, but thank you. So we talked about Matt Karch and his bullshit. Basically, he was like, who? Stella who? I don't know who that is. I had to ask Claude who that is, which is, like, insane. But basically, like, disrespecting her and her contributions and knowing who she was and saying, like, no, humans wrote this and humans worked on this. What are you even saying? And, oh, yeah, I mean, we did use AI on the video game. Sorry that it didn't have disclosure. We'll do that. The disclosure is out. And I will read that. There's also more to this story that Stella herself has updated, and I will get to that, but I want to go through the timeline of stuff here and get to they did update their AI. So if you go to that webpage on Steam, you will see the developer describes how their game uses AI-generated content like this. The main campaign story, characters, and dialogue are all written by a team of human writers. AI tools are used for voice generation and some localization. So again, this game launched with without this notice that voice generation and localization was used with AI tools. The optional free ride mode includes AI-generated passenger missions and localized dialogue. Free ride mode is separated from the main campaign and can be skipped by players who prefer to experience only human-written narrative content. The game also includes a mix of radio stations featuring human-made music and AI-generated music. Stations containing AI-generated music are clearly labeled as such in the game. That this is longer and more things than he said in the statement as well. Yes, Lord Crashington. At some point, somebody, I assume one of two things. One, lawyers were like, what are you even fucking saying? And wait, you didn't do an AI disclosure, but we make money on Steam. Or someone at Valve, high up enough at Valve, was like, hey, what the fuck is going on? You're not telling us, like, hey, what's going on? You're not going to say disclosures on here, but you're going to say it in publicly. And so because they fucking, now, of course, they didn't say the main story was rewritten. It seems like they got a lot of ideas from Stella and other writers and then got rid of them and then had a couple people use ChatGPT to finish the story. It seems like that. Again, this is what it seems like. I cannot confirm this. So anyway, the disclosure is way more than what he said as he was trying to dunk on a former employee, as if he didn't know who she was, but also did know who she was, and various other big boy tactics. These are big boy tactics. These are tactics of a big boy. That kind of shit. So we know this now. Also, the AI music is just like, what? And the free ride mode, you used AI generated missions. What? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? All of this sucks. There's an update. And I'd like to think this is the last update. Hopefully this is the last time we will talk about Rideshare. And frankly, I hope this is the last time I'm ever going to talk on stream about Saber Interactive. I know it won't be because there'll be something coming up where at some point where I have to talk about Saber Interactive. But right now, I'm hoping this is it. Stella put out a 3-page, the notes app thing, kind of a deal. She put that out there, talking about how she got an email from Matt Karch, and she doesn't include the email. She says a thing about she's not that kind of girl, which I appreciate. But she basically says yeah, he apologized. And here's, he apologized for the way he spoke about her to the press. And she did confirm she believes that he did write this email, which I'm not sure how she confirmed that, but I'll take her word for it. I would imagine she knows better than me that this is from him. Sorry, I have to get this on right here. Okay. Basically, he apologizes for escalating, and about how people were how he basically enabled some people to say some heinous ass shit. So he does apparently apologize for that, which is nice to hear, I guess. That it is nice that he apologized. 1:15. All right, let me get this piece out and then I'll continue here. So, in her words, it's not about look, she was like, it's not about the slurs and the derogatory things that people were saying. It's like the reputation hit, right? She's a writer that has worked in and outside of games for years, and to have those things said about her by someone with institutional power really bummed her out. And a thing that really stuck with her that also is a thing that he fueled the flames of is the idea that, well, maybe you're just a troublemaker because you've also called out behavior at another studio. And let's be honest, right? We don't hear a lot about stuff from studios like that because people don't go out of their way, if they can avoid it, from talking about those kinds of things, right? People try to keep their heads down. That's why whisper networks happen, right? Is because people are well, I don't want to fucking talk about this. It sucks that this is happening, but I don't want to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. That happens consistently. We hear about this, we don't hear about it, but sometimes we hear about it, if you know what I mean. And basically, Matt wants to make it right, and Stella says she doesn't know how that would even work and what that would even entail. So for now, this is the apology. And she has said that she's gonna sit with the apology. She's gonna accept it. She has a statement that I think is, so I'm going to say this. What Stella says here is, I don't know if I would have this kind of grace. I'd like to think that I have this kind of grace inside of me. I don't think I do. She says, apologies are simply in too short a supply these days to spurn one when it's offered. And I think that is unbelievably and unnecessarily big of her to say this. I do not think that I have that in me to say that as well. I think that I would say, ha ha ha, fuck off. I hope no one buys your fucking video game. I think I would be much more aggressive about that than Stella Sacco. So to Stella Sacco, I say, well played. You are the bigger person than I am. She does also in her statement, because she knew this would get moved around and people would see this and report on it. None of this changes my stance on AI. Matt and I obviously differ on this as a CEO, the consequences of its use fall on him and unfortunately also on his employees, which is fair and true. But yeah, this will hopefully be the end of this, and we hopefully won't have other shit like this. I don't know if anyone has learned anything. I feel without any sort of official statement to similar effect from Saber, it doesn't really do a lot for me. Lastbrook, I totally agree with you. Like, this is not a mea culpa. This is in some ways, perhaps this is someone close to Matt saying, hey, you should fucking apologize, man. What the fuck? Perhaps this is blowback from his team that he still has at Saber. Employees of Saber who are like, hey, if I ever disagree with you, are you going to fucking pretend like I didn't work here? Like, we don't know. I don't know what brought this on. Perhaps it is a bit of a conscience of a, or it is something where he is just like, hey, I don't want people to know my name or anything about me. Fuck, I should not be perceived right now. I would like to not be perceived at this moment. Perhaps that's it. I don't fucking know why he apologized in this way. But yes, I mean, it doesn't change the fact that the game is riddled with AI bullshit, which they also didn't disclose. And he, in numerous ways, sucks shit. And in fact, not only did a lot of people never even know this game existed, they now know that Saber Interactive sucks from the top, like at the top of it. The top of Saber Interactive sucks shit. And that is not great to know. Like, I mean, no, sorry. That's excellent to know. That's fantastic to know. For me, that's not great for them. That people were like, "Oh wait, this company sucks." Also, it's in some way, this is closure for Stella on this subject, because she ends with, "God willing, this is the last statement I'll need to make about this," and I hope that's true. Nathan Explosion just subscribed with 38-month streak, 47 months, using that Prime token. Thank you very much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in the chat, and thank Nathan for that continued support. Thank you so much, Nathan. Appreciate you. Nathan Explosion. Thank you very much for the support. Last week says, I'm glad people finally caught up with a bit of info that's been around for a while now. Yes, people have been knowing. Some people knew about Saber Interactive when Matt would talk a bit about how they basically, like, Embracer didn't lay off enough people, basically, which is just insane. And then last week says, also not really the point, but I still can't deal with the name being Stimulator and not Stimulator and not Simulator. Yes, it is Stimulator in quotation marks, because they are funny people. They're humorously funny friends. That it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure I'll have to talk about Saber Interactive again in the future. But yes, we didn't get this is not an official statement. This is a statement sent to her that she is sharing. Hopefully, also, hey, I would hope that some people realize that I don't know. There are people who this means a lot, that like knowing about the AI shit, knowing about that, like we've had this very fucking week, right? Like, there are plenty of people that do not care about AI as long as the thing that they want, they get. But there are people that are like, I am not interested in AI. And in fact, I am so disinterested in AI that finding out that there is AI in your thing means that I'm not interested in it at all. Yes, Lord Crashington. That is the thing that I didn't see at the time because I try to black out everything that involves Asmongold. But yes, apparently him talking about doesn't want to impose morals on gamers, and you're like, okay, all right. So by that you mean your morals are okay, morals you don't agree with are bad. Okay, gotcha. You're one of those. But yes, I had like kind of learned that, but not really, because again, as I said, I do my best to not think or ingest any information about Asmongold, if at all possible. This is the head. So while I was talking, I didn't talk about what I did here, which is I used a sticker, an eye sticker there. Now, the sticker I used was a black background with a set sticker that you can see here. I could have, Cinerex just subscribed tier 1. That's 92 months, saying time flies. That's so many months. Let's also throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in the chat. And thanks, Sin, for the support. 92 months is many, many months. Thank you so much. It's so nice to have people renew those subs. Also, we are now at 26 subscribers. The goal is to get to 30. I shut up about the number of subscribers I have when at 30. Thank you very much for your support. So I could have put an eye wherever I wanted to. As you can see there, I could have put this sticker on that sticker. I don't like doing layered stickers. I just did this one. But if I had messed up, I could have done this. Or I could have done no eye, like the blind eye. But I wanted to do this. So I wanted to say that because I didn't want to interrupt myself on there. This is going to feed into there, and it's going to look pretty fucking cool. Let's panel line this. We'll get some black marker on here, make this look real nice. There are some other news stories here. Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to come out in 2027. It's got a good thing the eye turns because the head sure doesn't. Yes, the head does not turn. This head is not going to move much. Not at all. So this is a new story in the Kingdom Hearts universe. So it is not a continuation of Sora and Donald and Goofy right off the bat, apparently. I am not going to go through all of the fucking details when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 4, because, fuck, man, I don't know a lot about Kingdom Hearts. Like, that's not my jam. But it's coming out in 2027, and people are stoked to hear that. Late 2027, so probably more than a year away. Well, yeah. There will be some Day of the Dead ass shit in there. I need to know how many people have been Norded. Lord Crashington, you'll be able to find out. There's going to be more Kingdom Hearts stuff tomorrow, which will be live streamed on the official Kingdom Hearts YouTube channel. So, more shit's coming. Man, I really wanted to talk about this story because there's part of me that goes, fuck yeah, dude. And there's part of me that goes, this is the way. And then there's part of me that goes, this can only end poorly. I am of mixed feelings on the announcement that there will be more Thimbleweed Park coming out. Ron Gilbert is making a sequel. He is not doing crowdfunding. He does not have a publisher. Somebody is giving him the money to make it because that person has disposable income and wants a sequel to Thimbleweed Park. In many ways, this is the way. In many ways, this is an indictment on indie publishing. and indie publishing branches of larger publishers. If Ron Gilbert can't make money for a video game outside of some guy, like, what the fuck are we doing here? And also, like, what if this game doesn't come out? Because what if this guy with this what if a co-host situation happens? Now, if you're unaware, co-host, the Tumblr alternative, basically never made enough money for its costs. They got close, but they never made enough money for its costs. And they basically survived for a long time on the goodwill of an anonymous benefactor who at some point stopped benefacting them. And they ran into trouble after that. Better Thimbleweed Park 2 instead of hunting humans for sport. Yeah. Yes. On the rich person giving money to a developer to make a game front, like, yes. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. 2024. His studio Terrible Toy Box raised $600,000 to Kickstarter to make Thimbleweed Park. It's apparently that game has sold over 300,000 copies, which is pretty fucking good for a throwback like that. And he was thinking about doing Kickstarter. And so he shopped around to publishers because, like, well, it's a sequel to a game that we crowdfunded, so theoretically, publishers would be interested in that game. And he did not see it. Apparently, the offers were not something that worked for him and appealed to him, so he passed on those offers. Hold on, let me just check something real quick here. Where's the part where the arms go to where the head? All right. Okay, there. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're moving to the arms. We finished the head and the chest. And now we'll move to the arms. Lower Crash says TCG Card Shop Simulator is hitting 1.0 on September 15th. Nice. I have not looked. I don't even have that game installed right now. I have not looked at that in quite some time. I broke its spell that I was under. And I have not been back, but I'm glad that they're going to get to 1.0. That's good. So apparently, a friend reached out and said that they knew a wealthy person. So somebody who was a friend of Ron Gilbert was like, hey, I know somebody that would help you make the game vis-a-vis money. Which is a wild thing. And then also apparently Gilbert was, now I have met Ron Gilbert on 2 occasions, I want to say, and talked to him very briefly. It was very cordial. It was not about business. It was at a relaxed setting. It was just a bunch of people that knew each other. Everybody knew somebody there, including Ron. My interactions with him, that this man has a good head on his shoulder, and I think evidence has come out continuously to support that belief that this guy's no dummy. So he wasn't just like immediately like, hell yeah, give me money. He was like, what? Apparently, because he said this is not the first time this has happened. So he's like, give him my email, talk to the guy, and realized, okay, this is a serious inquiry. This is not a, well, I'd fund it kind of a thing. This was a like, hey, is this something we want to do? They came up with a realistic budget and plan, and apparently he wanted $1 million for 2 years of development. And apparently he wanted to make sure that the developers got paid properly because things didn't some people didn't certainly get the money they needed in the first game's development. So he was like, well, I want to make sure that this goes right, which is fair and good. Let's see. So this has to go together here. So let me get this piece together, and then this. That. Nope, I think this goes on the other way. And so they agreed, and he was like, "This is the deal was better than the deals I was going to get at a publisher." So that's what the deal they went with, which is again wild. All of this is kind of wild and crazy, but hopefully it'll work out. It seems like it worked out. I don't know. Hopefully it continues to work. So it's in development. It's going to be out early 2028 because this is like at the start of this. Hopefully everything will work out. The nameless benefactor is still currently nameless at this time. And he says the first game still sells, which is nice to hear. Yeah, I hope it works out for him. I hope that the money comes through and consistently comes through, and the agreement doesn't get breached, and he doesn't get left in the lurch, and that everyone gets paid, and then they make a fun video game that people can enjoy. It's weird. It's a weird thing. That was a weird story that I was like, I definitely want to talk about this on stream. Lashbrook just subscribed. Currently 104 says, I think I missed a couple since switching to an automated sub. 104. It's like the temps outside right now. So let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in the chat and thank Lashbrook for the 104 months, which is so many goddamn months. Thank you, Lashbrook, for continuing to support the stream and me. Appreciate it. Throw some emotes in the chat. That's very kind of you. Yeah. That's a lot of months. 104 months is a ton of fucking months, y'all. It's just a bunch of months. There's just no other way to say that. It's just a big amount of fucking months. So that's all the stories I wanted to talk about. We'll probably have more about All In to talk about next week. We didn't talk about any anime. Well, we didn't talk about any anime episodes on Thursday. So tonight we'll talk about 3 shows after the pause for the cause. My Saint shows, and then the Ghost in the Shell, and then on Monday I will talk about some other anime stuff. I'll get into that. So we are going to go and do the pause for the cause. If you're unfamiliar, if you're new, this is my opportunity to talk directly to you about ways that you can support the channel and what I do here. Everything I'm about to talk about is optional. You are under no obligation to do any of these things. If you would like to, that would be great, but you don't have to. If you are currently a subscriber to the Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. There's an emote just for Tier 2 subscribers, and Tier 3, no one's a Tier 3. There's no emote just for Tier 3. If I ever get a Tier 3 subscriber, I will get an emote made just for them, but that has not happened. I should get a new Tier 2 emote and make the blue emote available for everybody. That is a 2026 plan. We just haven't gotten there. But anyway, if you would like to subscribe, that would be great. I am currently at 26 subscribers. My goal is to get to 30. I shut up about the number of subscribers I have when I had 30. I would love it if you want to become a subscriber and help me get that number, or gift a sub. Be at the top of the gift sub leaderboard. Cheering also benefits me. You're already here on Twitch, so even though Twitch fucking sucks, obviously Twitch sucks, but you're already here on Twitch, so you supporting me via Twitch is the easiest thing for you. It's not the most money percentage-wise for me. It's actually lower than either of the other ways you can benefit me monthly, percentage-wise, but it is the most convenient. Now, if you do want to support me in another way that is not on Twitch, where I actually do get more money than I would here, you can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on my Patreon, there's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. And there are different rewards for the different tiers. consider joining me on Patreon. It would be great if you wanted to get over on there. As I said, starting in September, I will have a new exclusive video series starting called Backlog Vlog. Yeah, I'm not doing that for this month. That'll be next month. But yeah, take a look at my Patreon. Because again, if you were like, where's my money better set? Like, you can do $6 here and I get like about half of it. And then Prime, I get a little less than half of it. But over on Patreon, I get like not all of, but most of whatever at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. So it's something to consider. I do have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBaer. I'm one of those people with YouTube channels. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. I already talked about the Patreon, putting this in the chat. Over on my YouTube, subscribing is free, of course. But if you wanted to, you could become a member. And for just $2 a month, you'll get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the videos that I put out every Wednesday, you'll see it a day early. That is the best offer I can give you on there on the YouTube, but it's only $2 a month. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you just want to throw something in the tip jar, I do have a Patreon. Sorry, I have a Ko-Fi and a PayPal. I'm all tongue-tied today. Sorry. And so you could put just some money in there, and everything I make through direct donations like that through YouTube, which includes AdSense. So if you end up watching my YouTube videos, you're also supporting the channel. That is maybe the freest way you can support me, is just by watching my videos and watching ads. Or if you have YouTube Premium, watching my videos and being logged in. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits and Lego sets. And the Papercraft kit. Look, that was $11 well spent. But that Squirtle could have been terrible. It could have been junk. But it was worth spending that $11 to find out. And now knowing that the 4D builds are pretty fucking cool, and maybe I'll put more of my wish list, or I'll buy them, or I'll look to see if they ever go on sale again. Because I now know that that was rad. And it was your generosity that allowed that. Past you helped out present me, and then future me would also be happy if you want to support me in any of those ways. Now, the kit I'm currently working on, the Galluss-J, right here, Galluss-J. This friend, this came off my Amazon wish list. Chris bought it for me off my wish list. Thank you, Chris. Chris watches the VODs, does not watch the streams live because Chris is working right now and can't watch YouTube while they work, or Twitch, I should say. So they watch YouTube later. So, Chris, when you're watching this later, what's up, VOD watchers? Hello. Chris bought this for me to build. And if you would like to buy something for me to build, the easiest way to do that is to go to my Amazon wish list and buy something there. Anything you buy off my wish list comes to me in the mail. And, of course, and I make a dedicated video for my YouTube channel about the thing that you purchased, where I thank you for doing it. Or I thank the anonymous person that bought it, if you don't want to take credit. And then it jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I build. So I have a backlog, but I didn't work on anything from that backlog when I finished Squirtle. I started this tonight because Chris bought it for me to build. So now I'm building it. My alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne, so take a look at that. There's some great stuff on there, and none of the links on there go to Amazon, so it's all free of Amazon if that's what you're interested in. And then if you want to support me and you need to do it in a convoluted and complicated manner, go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. At USA Gundam Store, if you buy a gift card, they'll send you an email with a gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. And you can send me the gift card code at a whisper here on Twitch, or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and then I'll use it. People have done it. More people have done that than bought something for me on Throne, which is a wish list that like works and people use all the time. But whatever. Live your best life. Let's see. Other things I want to tell you. If you want to support me financially, but you don't want to, you want to support me, but not financially, I should say, join my Discord. My Discord is awesome. It is very relaxed and chill. If you're looking for a chill Discord where people post build photos, and sometimes they post things that are like, oh, Pat will like this. or I will, post something that I'm like, I'm probably going to talk about this on stream, but I'll post this in here. It's a nice little place. A couple video links for you to check out. I did record a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club that will go out, everybody, on Monday. But the most recent one is my recommendations for this season. So you should watch that video. And then Kuma Baer. Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. Every month I have a new theme. This month's theme is Chillest of Chill. It is me talking about some of my favorite all-time, really chill, relaxed, easygoing anime. And I talked about a show that is part of the Fate series. Fate Unlimited Blade Works and Fate Stay Night and Fate Prism something or other. So many words and colons and parentheses and quotation marks and exclamation points. There is like the series that are, this is Fate, and it is this route of the visual novel. And then there are shows that are like, this is an alternate reality. This is that. This is based on that. This is another telling. There is a Fate show called Today's Menu for the Emiya Family. And it is a Fate series that is just a cooking and eating show. It is the main guy from the show making food and hanging out with his friends. And no one is trying to kill anyone. And Saber gets to eat food and make fun faces and have a great time. And the most, exercise that anyone has, the closest thing to battle is there's a volleyball match at one point. It is chill and it is great. If you love the Fate series, this is your chance to watch characters from the Fate series having a good time. Because some of these, there's a character in that just fucking deserves a really good time. Because there is no series outside of this one where she doesn't have a bad time. No spoilers, but there's a character that I'm like, oh. And then, if you don't know anything about Fate, it's just a cooking show that you missed out on because you were like, I don't know, no thanks. You don't need to know anything about it. You can just enjoy it. Maybe if you know that one character is another character from an alternate future, it makes a scene they have together more fun, but you don't even really need to know that shit. Fate. Hey, the Fate series, it's complicated. All right, so I just had some water, but I need even more water. And we need to get back to the overhead camera so we can start working on these arms. And I have anime to talk about. So I'm going to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera, get back to model kit building, and also talk about this anime stuff that I want to talk about while I work on this cool kit. And we're going to do all of that right now. I drank so much water today because I was so dehydrated after all of the dumb bullshit. I was sweating so much. I got scraped climbing that tree. It's annoying. I put ointment on it and I'll put a bandage on it after, but I'm letting it breathe right now. Scraped up. And by climbing a tree, I do mean a ladder, but I had to climb up and around it. I didn't just grab onto the base and shimmy up a palm tree. I'm 46. I didn't climb a palm tree today. I wasn't doing that when I was 26. I wasn't doing that when I was 16. 30 years ago. I wasn't doing that shit. Anyway, anime. The shows I didn't talk about on Thursday because conversation stuff came up, so I couldn't get into that, but we'll talk about this here. Let's see. So this will go on this side, and then the other fives will go on the other side, or the other side, I should say. I thought about climbing a tree 2 months ago at 45 and decided to get a ladder, and then decided not to. Yeah, look, sometimes you don't even need the ladder. You just go, actually, fuck this, and you don't do it at all. But here's the deal: if I don't get a ladder out and climb that ladder and cut off these growths on this palm tree, then they eventually will just let out like these fucking crabapple-like things that stink and attract bees. And I don't want that. Hey, guess what? I don't fucking want that. I don't want that shit at all. So instead, I climbed the damn ladder today. Got a little cut up. But I didn't get cut up as much as I have in the past, so I'll take it. All right. So, the Oblivious Saint can't contain her power. Haven't been watching the show? It's very fun. Our main character, she's got holy power. She's a saint, but people thought that she had no magic. They thought her sister was the saint. Wasn't true. It was her. She got basically sold off to another country, which is great. And she's gotten married. It turned out that the guy is awesome. And things are working out really good for her. And she is the Saintess. And her sister, Flora, is not actually a Saintess. And she's starting to realize. But basically, kind of stuck, Jonathan, that's right, he's got an O-N. It's Jonathan, who is high-ranking member of the clergy in this country that our girl got kicked out of. He's a corrupt individual. We find out he's really corrupt. We thought he was a scumbag, an opportunist. Turns out he's also a fucking murderer. But he's like gonna scheme. He's planning on scheming. Basically, they realize like, okay, well, we're just gonna like say, hey, we need Carolina back. We need this main character. She's the true saint, and she needs to come back. And he's basically gonna fake a revelation, like an oracle from God, and make it a fucking big ass problem. Also, there's a thing, this might come in important later. Our girl meets a woman named Monica, who is being really rude to her because she is a supporter of Gilbert, who is going to become king. Now, we know that Gilbert, like there was some shit last episode, but Gilbert is like, people want Edward, the second prince, our girl's husband. They want some people want him to become king. Gilbert has the right for the throne. He's been healed now. Things are looking like they'll be probably good, or at least better off now between the two of them. They kind of work some shit out. So like that is just one of those things where like, hey girl, you don't have to be snippy and weird about this shit. Like everybody wants the same thing here. But yeah, they found out about this oracle thing. Cause really it's that apparently the country that our girl came from, is one of the few holy nations, that can protect the saint. And so they're like, I mean, we could try to expose, they're thinking like we could expose Jonathan to the Inquisition, expose him for his crimes, and take him out of power. And then Carolina's like, well, can't this country become a holy nation? Because if it's a holy nation, then you can protect me. Like you can declare that I am a candidate for Saintess and then just, protect me here. Which seems like a plan. And they're like, okay, well, the Pope, who likes that country, is like, yeah, we could do that. You have to prove, like it's going to be rough because there's like the trials. You have to go through the trials and do all that. But you are definitely the Saintess, so like it would work if we did it this way. And then so the evil guy, Jonathan, does show up, and they're like, hey, he's going to try to manipulate you to get you to willingly come back, because it's easier than the threat of war or whatever is if you just like want to come back. So he's going to try to manipulate you. It's very clear that he's trying to do that. And instead of just like outright saying no, our girl just starts stalling. Like basically they're like, this is the best solution we can come up with, is you just have to like not really give him a definitive answer and just kind of like don't let yourself be like swayed or manipulated, and just like we're going to kind of ride this out for now until we get the evidence we need. Because Gilbert, the crown prince, infiltrates the country to investigate and figures out, oh shit, okay, apparently the former saint who the former king loved, the former saint, got murdered by Jonathan, who was basically, she was going to expose him for various crimes that he committed, and he killed her. So it's just like, oh shit, well, that's fucked. And so King Nathan, who at the time got manipulated into not finding out what happened, is just like, hey, please get the evidence. Please help us. Find out who actually murdered the Saint Claudia. So now this investigation goes from a dude who was trying to manipulate things behind the scenes for his own benefit into, oh, this guy fucking murdered a saint. Oops, sorry, I hit a button and you got unnecessary text. My apologies, everybody. You didn't need that 0 there. One of the sprues hit my keyboard. So yeah, this dude fucking murdered a Saintess. So we've got ourselves the big bad, and then also we end on a cliffhanger of the minor bad, where Flora, the evil younger sister that kind of escalated all of this shit, she is basically has accepted that she's never going to become the Saintess. But she's still going to make sure that she ruins Carolina's life, because she has decided that Carolina leaving is the reason why she's not going to become the Saintess, even though, as we know, Carolina only left because she was forced to leave. And all of this shit is Flora's own fault, but of course Flora isn't going to see that, so she's going to ruin Carolina's life, which I don't think is going to happen, because she's the main character. She's gonna prevail. Sorry, girl, you're not the main character. You ain't winning this one, Flora. You're the villainess. All right, I gotta snap this piece in here somewhere. Figure out how this goes in. This looks like it just slides in here. There it is. You got to put a little bit of pressure on there, which I don't like doing on plastic. All right, a little bit of pressure on there. I think I'm going to finish all of this and then do the other one after I do this one. We'll finish this one. We'll do that. All right, moving on to the Forsaken Saintess and her Foodie road trip, where our main character, Rin, was summoned seemingly by mistake, but it turns out she is actually the Saintess, but she was dismissed because they didn't understand what camping is and why her power would be great. So they put her center of the curb. She has a magical RV that she can summon, and it can run and be invisible and can be constantly restocked with food and resources. And she probably has other abilities we haven't even found out yet, but that's enough for her to have great adventures. Just being a resourceful lady. She makes friends with a party of adventurers, and then also a little cat fairy friend, a little cat with wings, becomes her familiar immediately. And they are in a dungeon. They are exploring a mysterious dungeon where there are monsters that shouldn't be at that dungeon there, at levels they shouldn't be at, and it seems fucked. There's definitely something going on. So they're investigating that. All right. So how do I this needs to I have to make sure this is A26 because I just realized this doesn't look right. This is A23. So there you go. This piece is just fucking wrong. I was like, this looks wrong. And it turns out it was. I fucked up. I need A26. That's this piece. Okay. So yeah, they go into a building after fighting a lot of monsters and stuff. And Rin has been cooking for them, but also has moments where she thinks like, oh, I can't help in battle. Am I really like helping these folks at all? But they're like, what are you talking about? You make amazing food. Food that I should point out is also animated very well. They're definitely spending budget on the food animation. It looks real good. So they enter a building. And there's a backstory about a mysterious race that used to live in this area, in this dungeon. So we get a little backstory that like maybe means something and maybe doesn't mean anything. We'll find out if this backstory is actually helpful. But it's been mentioned out of nowhere, so probably. They find a room with a marble tree in a basin. And then Rin, who is apparently good at solving puzzles, she's a little puzzle master. She figures out, okay, we need to put something into the grooves in the tree branches. There are like spots in the tree branches. It's a Resident Evil ass puzzle. There is some weird shit they gotta do. They gotta like put some pieces in some places. They figure out some bird statues by moving some carvings in the walls, and they get some bird statues, and then water drains out of the basin, and the room starts to flood. And then an eel, a storm eel, a giant eel shows up, which of course has weather abilities, because why wouldn't it have cool weather powers? Or evil weather powers, whatever you want to say. Let's see. Rin uses bait from the camper van to lure the eel, and then because she knows what an eel would be interested in, so she can figure out a bait to bait the eel. And does a great job. So hey, guess what? Rin helped. She was worried she wasn't helpful. She helped a lot there. Okay, so we got that done, and we can panel line that when it's done. But right now we can do what we just did here, but on the other one. So let's do that. It's going to be D2. I'm basically going to do what I just did here, but do it again for the other shoulder. So let's see. They end up on a coliseum. So they travel to another place. Now they're in a coliseum, and hey, the talking cat fairy. The cat fairy is a talking cat fairy now. Apparently now can talk to them, and it's just like, hey, I live here, and my job is to protect the dungeon core. Because this is where the dungeon core is, and it's my job to protect that core. So, our cat friend had a job. Is it an enemy? We'll find out. So she turns into a large form, and they're like, fuck. Well, we kind of need to destroy the dungeon core. We don't want to fight her because she was a cute cat fairy friend, but we gotta destroy that core. But luckily for them, the little cat thing, Gomomiso, is like, actually, yeah, I'm good, and destroys the core herself because she's like, yeah, I don't want to do this job anymore. Rin is so great Rin is so awesome that our little cat fairy was like, actually, fuck this job I have. I just want to keep hanging out with you. So they, the dungeon starts falling apart. They all escape, and everyone's kind of marveling that Rin fucking saved the day by just being cool. But unfortunately, our little cat fairy friend, Goma Misma, is no longer as powerful, and can only talk to Rin. Can't talk to everybody else, which is a shame. And we're going to get a little bit more information about their next job. A job has opened up. Our next mission, our next arc, because we finished the dungeon exploring arc, and now we got to get into the next thing, which is we are now past the point that I have read in the manga. So I am excited to see what comes up here, because they have to go to the capital, which is ruled by Vile's half-brother. Crazy. We didn't know Vile had a half-brother. Nobody knew that. And Vile's just like, yeah, I used to live in the capital and I had to flee it. I took off because of there was family stuff and conflicts, and I chose to avoid those conflicts by leaving the capital. And so we'll probably hear much more about that specifically, although, you know, we can probably imagine there's some shit. So then they start talking about how, like, hey, you know, we haven't really talked about the fact that Rin was summoned to fight because of all the monsters, because that's why a Saintess gets summoned is monster problems. That's weird, right? It's probably has something to do with her. And then Rin, maybe this is setting up for a problem. Again, I don't know, because I haven't read farther. I haven't read the manga past this point here. Shows the friends, Shella and Tori, friends that she has made that we've seen in previous episodes, shows them what Campy, the camper van, is like. So now more people know about her special ability. And they eat the eel meat of the eel that they defeated, and then they prep to go to the capital, because they're going to have to deal with some issues with maybe it's going to be with Vile's brother, but they got to go to the capital and deal with that shit. Let's see, so I need 26. Yeah. So again, we're just kind of like, there's some story stuff happening here, and there'll be some more story stuff, and I just a piece just fell in my lap, but luckily I was able to get it. Didn't fall to the floor. And I'm glad we got more stuff with our cat friend, our mystical cat friend, because that's fun little bits of business there. So I'm glad we got more of that. And then we'll find out what's going on with Vile and his brother. Crazy. All right. And now, friends, let's talk about episode 6 of The Ghost in the Shell. Holy shit. This was the action episode. Episode titled Dumb Barter. Shit was fucking popping off in this one. A multifaceted major. We find out that the major has been dating somebody in section 1. Our folks are section 9, and kind of been hanging out with this boy. She's got a boyfriend in section 1. Of course, we do know that she was in a some sort of relationship with 2 women that didn't want her to go to work all the time, which fair. Just be in this holodeck style thing with us, like. Totally understand. Fair. All right, I need C2 13. But now we know. Sorry, let me 13 there. Now we know she also had a boyfriend in section 1. And at the beginning of the episode, she narrowly survives a attack by a suicide bomber. And the Major is like, fuck. I think somebody, like, I think this terrorist is after me. Toru-sama. Hello, Vectroid. You forgot the new The Ghost in the Shell is airing. Yeah. So I accidentally hit the 0 key with one of my sprues, and then Lord Crashington had to continue going by hitting the 1 button, which is fine. Yes. It was a little bit of yes-anding from Lord Crashington, so thank you for adding the 2 in there. So we find out a lot. This episode fucking moves. We find out a lot immediately about that there's this terrorist that she tried to assassinate for work years ago and failed. And now apparently he is back and he is trying to kill her. And everyone's just like, well, fuck that. We're not going to let that happen, which is good. So they mobilize. All of Section 9 got her back. Aramaki, the boss, is like, yeah, all right, we're gonna take this down. We're gonna take him down. And their plan is that they're gonna use the Major as bait. They're gonna use her as bait to kind of lure him out, and they'll have a bunch of people ready to help out. But that plan doesn't work so well because part of the highly trained assassins, like operatives, like some people show up that are no joke, and they also have a fucking tank. It is it's called the think tank. It is like a meld between man and machine tank that is more powerful than the Fuchikomas that they're using, and it's bad fucking news. You're working on the Quebly Master Grade, and all of his fingers move, so I can make him do devil horns. Yes. I love a Master Grade that, look, putting fingers together, like the full hand together, can sometimes be a nightmare on some kits. But the payoff of the range of motion and the fact that you can do devil horns or giving the finger is very cool and is worth the trouble on some of those kits. Not all kits are created equal. Some are more annoying than others, but yes. Yes, they fall off a lot. Yeah, they certainly do. A lot of the times they will. So they got themselves a big tank, and Togasu gets wounded. The Major gets damaged fighting, and we get to see the Major fucking in trouble. Kusanagi is in fucking trouble for most of this episode. A lot of this episode is her like running and hiding and trying to stall for time. She's basically hoping that Section 9 shows up to counterattack because like things are not looking good. And it's a mess. And then it's even more of a mess when she realizes that the people that are going after her, that are trying to kill her, are from Section 1, including her fucking boyfriend. It turns out that the head of Section 1 made a deal with this motherfucking terrorist that he's going to give them a bunch of information on a drug dealer named Anaconda, which I wrote down gleefully when I realized that this was something from the manga that I had forgotten, that there was a drug dealer named Anaconda. And that is fantastic. It's a fantastic specific. So apparently they sold out the Major for this like drug kingpin to work with a fucking terrorist, which is crazy. Aramaki is trying to tries to get the Section 1 chief to fucking call off the dogs and like abandon this trade, that it's not clearly shit's not fucking worth it. What are you fucking talking about? Why are we doing this? But don't worry about it. They don't need to call off the operation because Borma, a character who is done, let's be honest, fuck all. He is the part of the scene, but not really there too much. Borma shows up and shoots an anti-tank rifle at the tank, and the day is fucking saved. We find out that Toru-sama, the terrorist, oh yes, I should say, when I say coerce, when Aramaki is trying to get the section chief to call off the deal and pull his people back, he's doing so with a fucking gun. He does not use that gun, but he is ready to use that gun for his people, which you do not see that in Standalone Complex. You do not see Aramaki get his hands dirty or be prepared to get his hands dirty. But in this case, he is willing to do so for the Major. But he doesn't have to. Also, there is a little humor at the end of the episode, but before we get to that humorous moment, now you're like, okay, well, this is the part where the Major captures Toru and gets the last laugh. Nope. She finishes the job that she failed 4 years ago, and fucking just murks him. She just executes him. Like, completely, like, kill this dude that had collateral damage that ended up getting her boyfriend involved in this shit and, like, tried to strike a deal and came after her and injured her teammates and almost killed her. Nope, no trial. Just, you're dead. Good fucking luck. See you in hell. And then we get the reveal. Kusanagi is like, you got scammed. Anaconda is already dead. So they would, even if they had successfully killed her and helped out, they weren't getting shit. They got played. And if they had been upfront with Section, if they had said, hey, this dude is offering us information in order to kill you, they would have said, oh, well, the information doesn't matter because that dude is dead. So they were like, see, they should have worked. They should have worked with Section 9. This episode fucking whipped ass. I'm going to be real. It was fucking great. It was now, I know some people have not loved the humor in this particular series. I have, because I am a fan of the original manga. But I think the humor in here was like little moments and wasn't really slapstick. As I said, we got some supporting characters doing some shit. Borma got to save the day. We haven't really seen much about like Borma in there, so that was been cool. And we got to see some characters do some stuff. And the Major wasn't a badass fucking Terminator. She was in trouble. She was using her wits to survive, and she was depending on her team, hoping that her team was going to just believing her team was going to show up and help her out. Yes. Also, yes, Lashbrook. The postscript of the chief of Section 1 getting hit by a car and Borma showing up at the garage with a car with damage in the front. Yes. Don't fuck with... Like, the Section 1 through 8 has got to fucking realize you're not going to be fucking with Section 9 and get away with that shit. This episode absolutely ruled. Whipped ass. Really good. Also, Go Ghost is fucking awesome. The song Go Ghost. We haven't talked about the opening theme being great. I don't love Blue as much. But I'm also not necessarily a big fan of Millennium Parade, the group. But I am a fan of King Gnu. That's Gnu. But yeah. This is cool. Just a cool fucking Japanese jazz band. Like a new jazz band. And it's a fucking dope song. I've been trying to choose between Ghost in the Shell and Akira manga, and you might be swaying me with this description. We got fancy omnibus version of both somehow. So I love Akira is a seminal work, right? In my opinion, the anime is the animated movie for Akira is unbelievable and important. And I think the manga is quite good. I think Ghost in the Shell, the manga Ghost in the Shell, is amazing. And it is like, it is such a weird mix of like sardonic humor and goofiness and horniness and badassery and big questions about soul and self. And like it's not perfect. It's certainly not perfect. But I think it is a phenomenal piece of storytelling. I think that manga fucking rules. Which is why I have been so fucking stoked about this anime adaptation, which has been very fucking good. This anime adaptation has been, because it is as opposed to standalone complex, which is basically taking ideas, and even the movies, both animated movies, not talking about the live action, both animated movies are like taking plots and ideas from the thing and kind of trying to tell their own story and do it their own way. Whereas this is saying, hey, this story was awesome. We're just going to make this as an anime. Science Saru, sometimes Science Saru will go, all right, well, we're going to just do some stuff and we'll see what happens. And sometimes Science Saru is like, well, the source material whips ass, so we're just going to make the source material and see what's up. Which I appreciate and applaud. Big fan of. This kit is coming together nice and quick. I mean, I started with nothing at the beginning of the stream, and we've done the chest and the head and one whole arm, and we're going to get most of the second arm, if not all, the whole second arm done here, which is cool. I am a little surprised by that. We got some... the Ghost in the Shell manga seems like more essential reading right now. Yeah. Yeah, Standalone Complex is fantastic. Standalone Complex is like a darker, moodier. There isn't a lot of, like, the Major isn't as well-rounded character as she is in the manga and this adaptation. But Standalone Complex focuses on the capital B, big capital Q questions. The big questions about the nature of man. And you do have it. But there's a bit of in the Ghost in the Shell and the manga, there is some like there are big questions, but also those big questions are like, well, like, am I even human when I die? Will I be buried with anything? Also, I'm naked right now because I definitely just had some sort of encounter with this other woman that's here in this scene. We didn't see that, but it is pretty much assumed. Or it's like, oh, and then something kind of silly happens, like the chief rides by on his tiny little vehicle and everyone's laughing at him. It's broken up. Whereas Ghost in the Shell is like, Standalone Complex is like, we have big fucking questions. Let's really get into these big ass questions that we have been thinking about. All right, it's time for more big ass questions. Time for at least one more big ass question. That's kind of the vibe of that, which is also great. No shade on the Standalone Complex. I would say, that like Bato is the best interpretation of that character. He is like, he's got stuff in this in the manga, and then I assume in the anime, and he's already had a little bit in this anime. He had stuff in the like the second movie, but in Standalone Complex, Bato is like kind of the best character. He's got the most going on. He's a little more Jet from Cowboy Bebop than he is in other things, where he is a bit more put upon and has to deal with things. And he feels a little bit more like Jet would. Oh, this hand. Oh, that's right. This is like the beam. This is like the missile thing. I gotta put a sticker on this. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. Sorry, I'm not doing that. The thumb on here has a sticker that has to bend and fold around it. You're not spamming at all, rah. Thank you. Thank you for chatting. This has a sticker that's going to go on the finger, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to build the hand, but I'm not going to apply the sticker until Monday. That is going to be the first thing I do on Monday, because it's 10:50 p.m., and I'm not messing around with a sticker that has to fold over things. A fold over sticker? Get out of here. That's not happening. That's not me right now. That is a future Pat problem. Speculative fiction. Yes, there is a lot of speculative fiction. Like I said, there are big questions, and some of those big questions don't have answers. They just have more questions, which is pretty great. But yeah, I would recommend Standalone Complex for everybody. It's something to check out if you haven't. This Ghost in the Shell adaptation, I'm loving as a big fan of the original. As someone who, some episodes start and I have flashbacks and suddenly I am not watching it. As it happens, I am at a Barnes & Noble. I'm at Barnes & Noble reading Ghost in the Shell before I buy Ghost in the Shell, because I have time to read a little bit of this before I take it home. But I'm still going to buy it. I'm not just reading it in the store, but I am going to buy it. And there is a sense memory to this, which is, as I get more and more nostalgic for some times in my life, not all times, but sometimes in my life, get a little nostalgia. I'm like, yeah, dude, hell yeah. All right. So this finger here is going to get a sticker that goes all the way around it to take it from being red to gray, which is fine. And then this goes in like this. There we go. And now this hand can shoot lasers or missiles or something. I can't remember, which is cool. And then there's going to be a sticker that goes on there, but it won't go on there yet because I don't want to do it. So I'm going to take my Sharpie, and I am going to take my Sharpie here, and I'm going to circle this so that when we come back on Monday, I remember that I need to do that. That's not going to work on there, but it will work on here. This will let me know that I have put that there, and that tells me, Pat, you need to do this. You missed to do that step. You got to do it. So that'll be good. Because who cares? No one else is going to see these instructions but me. So I can mark them up all I want. And then I'll also panel line this and put a little black marker on there after I'm done with the sticker, and that'll look good. But goddamn, for 2 hours, we got some work done on this thing. We still have the legs, because that's this kind of kit. We're going to do the legs together. Then we'll do the waist, and then put this whole thing together, put on the side things, which are just like the side skirts go on, the little connector hoses go on. Then we got to build a backpack, and then we got to build a gun. Gotta buy that gun, build that gun. Which kind of looks like the finger guns, which is fun. And yeah. Once again, thank you to Chris, who will watch this on the VOD. Thank you for buying this off my wish list, because I'm excited to work on it. Yes, I love these greens. The silhouette is great. This is once again, this is a kit that came out in 2025, but it is for a mobile suit from Gundam Double Zeta. So it is from an old design, but a new build, no polycaps. And this has been a cool design so far. And not too many stickers. Some stickers, but mostly, you know, mostly like color correcting vent sticker things. So happy to put those on. A lot of these stickers are going to be on like the butt of this, like the backpack. So that's fine by me. I am going to wrap things up. Yes. Oh, yeah. Double Zeta, it has some great designs. This thing does look fantastic. So I'm going to wrap things up tonight, friends. We are going to go on a raid because that is how we end every stream around here. We always end with a raid. We're going to go find somebody doing cool stuff out there that we want to go spend some time with and go hang out with them. And then I'm going to watch the West Coast replay of AEW Collision, although I'm really just watching the HBO Max version, but watching it at 11 with probably a couple friends because I like doing that after a stream on a Saturday. But let me see who's out there that we can go raid. And again, we're going to look. I trust that everyone that I raid has turned off the AI bullshit. They have opted out. I cannot tell you 100% that every single person I have is doing that, but I'm fairly confident that the folks that I would go and raid are being cool. How long have they been going? That's probably almost done, right? Let me see. They only go for like 3 hours, and they have been going for 2 hours, 45 minutes. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's not going to work. Let's go hang out with Giant Bomb Forever. When I don't know who I'm going to raid, we raid Giant Bomb Forever. The always on, always showing old-ass Giant Bomb shit. So we'll go hang out with them for a bit, and I'm going to go watch some wrestling. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you come along on this raid. I hope you can come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time for me to continue working on this and hanging out and talking about other wrestling stuff and all kinds of good things. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope to see you on the next one. I hope you have a great rest of your night and a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.